to another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the unceded land where this conversation takes place, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Axel Archenti arrived at Bottega in 2017 on a working holiday visa and never left. He broke down 3 goats at his trial, worked his way through the kitchen and became head chef in 2023. It's his first head chef role and he has embraced it. Axel cooks Italian food with an Australian accent, celebrating local produce and native ingredients. The menu is seasonal but ever-evolving, practical and grounded in the reality of a busy dining room that fills fast before curtain up at the nearby theatres. Axel talks thoughtfully about simplicity, about knowing when not to experiment, and about building a kitchen culture where people actually like coming to work. This was a generous conversation and I loved every minute of it. Hi Axel and welcome to Conversation with a Chef. It's great to be in Bottega. It's got such a great name. It's been in Melbourne for a long time.
Yes, Bottega's been here for quite a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello.
Yeah, thank you. And I was just talking to you off mic about the fact that I was hoping to get in before Valentine's Day because I know you had a special menu, but that's all over and done with now. Was it a really big night here?
It was really big. Like every year, we do enjoy it, night like that. They're like always frenetic and bring life with, you know, special menus and things like that. A lot to think about, but yeah, it was amazing. Cannot complain. Obviously, it was at the end of the night, everyone was demolished on the team to be like sincere, but you know, it was really good.
And when you're thinking of a special menu like that, what do you take into consideration? How do you plan for that?
So, depending on the night, for instance, St. Valentine is a night that over the years I've found out that it is easier to have a straightforward menu where experimental, it is not what sells the most here at Bottega. For a night like that, where the kind of customer that comes to enjoy the night is looking for a more traditional flavor, so I stick to like more traditional and simple flavor without experimenting too much on those nights, because in the past I failed to, let's say, to hit the marks with menus because I was like a little bit too experimental. But you know, I think I found kind of like the right balance between do what I like and do what the customer likes. So, you know, it's always a fine balancing, I guess, between the two things, because, you know, sometimes I let myself too much go, and then, you know, maybe it's a bit too know what the customer likes, essentially.
Yeah. And what was on that menu then? What are those sort of traditional dishes?
So we went with a couple of canapes to start. It was a couple of beignets filled with house-smoked salmon and king salmon, sorry. And then we had one with mortadella mousse and pistachio. So we had like 2 quick bites on arrivals, like nice and simple. Obviously we had vegetarian, gluten-free option, but you know, those are the main 2 that we sold the most. And then we had entree of tortelli filled with stracciatella and ricotta on a smoked tomato sugo with parmesan fonduta and basil oil. And then we had a choice of mains. We had a steak. Steak always sold the most. So we had a simple flat iron steak, cooked as the customer likes, served with rocket and red wine jus. And the other option was a yellowfin tuna steak, served with zucchini puree, potato gnocchi, and fried zucchini flowers. It was really good.
Delicious.
And lemon dressing. It was my favorite, but unfortunately it didn't sold much. I think, you know, Australian customers are very carnivorous, let's say. They love their meat.
I wondered if it was all the men that were buying the steak, but women as well.
It was,
everyone.
We done 140 people and we sold 95 steak. So, you know, you do their maths, it's like 2/3 of our customers choose the steak.
Yeah, wow.
When it's so close to run out. But, you know, close but not run out, so
Yeah.
I was fine, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then to finish, we had a cuore morbido cioccolato al latte, so it's like a lava cake with milk chocolate, with strawberry chantilly cream and house-made gelato.
Everyone loves a lava cake, don't they? There's always a lot of Instagramming of lava cakes.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, like for San Valentine, I like to go with traditional and food that people love, because that's the kind of customer that you go out to a restaurant like this. Like, obviously the food is they go out, but there's a lot of like couples that like just freshly coupled, let's say, and they go out for like a special night and they maybe not ready for something too advanced. So like a lava cake is like exactly what they want.
Yeah,
and
right.
like at the end of the day, we need to please them. So
Yeah, that's right. And so when you get to experiment, what do you like to experiment with?
Well, obviously the produce here at Bottega, my belief, it is all down to like fresh food. So Bottega is an Italian restaurant, and we do not serve traditional Italian food here. The idea it is, for me, it is what Italian food is using local produce and seasonal produce. So that's the importance for me, and experimenting with like locally sourced produce. Like there is a lot of native Australian produce that I like to add to my menus, like finger limes, but that's pretty obvious. But like
Saltbush? Or?
yes, saltbush, Geraldton walks is
yes.
another really big. That I think it is like implements so well with like a lot of seafood pastas. So yeah, those are like produce that they're not available in Italy, but here they are, and they fit so well to experimenting with like Italian cuisine. Going back to the question.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because I spoke to another Italian chef a couple of years ago, and he was lamenting Australian produce. He said that you have to do a lot to it to get flavour out of it, whereas in Italy, the tomatoes are all really beautiful and you don't have to do very much to it.
Well, that I would say is down to the supplier. We do collaborate with like a couple of really good suppliers. I would like to mention Natura, if I can.
Yeah.
Natura is a veg supplier here in Collingwood, and they are really good at connecting farmers to restaurants. They source from like independent farms, so like their product, it is amazing, outstanding. Like really, there is some of that produce there is literally you don't have to do anything to extract the flavor out of it. Obviously, like working with small farm, and the availability is very like dependent, from the weather. Like here in Australia, the weather is a bit all over the place. While in Italy, you have like more like the season are more like stable. So like summer is summer and winter is winter. While here you go from a couple of weeks ago, 45 degrees on a Wednesday, 17 on a Sunday. So,
Yeah.
obviously tomatoes suffer conditions like that. Like tomatoes love warm nights to develop, to ripe at their best. So obviously, yes, there are going to be limitation on some produce if you compare them, like, apples to apples from Italy. But, at the same time, they're like really valid alternative, or like actually really good other kind of produce in Italy you don't find.
Yeah. And is your menu seasonal then, or do you change it a bit more often than the 4 seasons?
I change it more often than season. Here, I sense it changing every time I get bored of something. Or, yeah, because that's, like, I think every chef can agree on that. Like, we do enjoy our food, but then once we don't like anymore a dish, it needs to go.
Yeah.
And, some dishes are more important to us. There are dishes that brought here, they stick in the menu for, like, longer than a season because, they, like, remind me old times when I was young. But then, like, the others dishes that like can stay like 3-4 weeks, and they will go on the menu, and just after a bit you're like, the produce is like, because of the season is changing, is not anymore as it was 4 weeks ago I need to go. So there needs to be like, there are some dishes that have been in the menu forever, and some of them they're like changing a bit more often. So yes, the menu is seasonal, but there are some dishes that are, you know, endless, I will say.
Yeah.
Like for instance here at Bottega, our carpaccio, I think it's been in the menu for 20 years. It is the owner's favorite, and it's amazing. So, you know, like, well,
Yeah, and
I
you
really
must
enjoy
have a
to
lot of
have it.
regulars as well.
that comes for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they, you know, they probably expect, you know, to have their favourite dish when they come in as well. Yeah.
Yes.
From having been around for so long. And the fact that it's a pre-theatre place, do you have to have meals that are quite quick to go?
Of course we do.
Yeah,
Yes. Like pre-theater, it is a really fun moment of the night, I will say. You know, sometimes it is kind of normal, and sometimes it's like 60 people in half an hour, and they have a show at 7:30. And
goodness.
so yeah, there are some dishes in the menu that are started for it.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, like that's what needs to happen. Like I was saying before, you know, like you have to look at the kind of customer that you have in, and think about the menu also about from that point of view. You know, like.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have a pre-theater, and yes, it's gonna be fast, and they wanna be to a show. They don't, you know, like, they wanna be well fed, but they also needs to be on a faster side.
Yeah.
And I would say Italian cuisine is really good for it, because fresh pasta, it is kind of quick. You know, 10 minutes, it can be in and out, you know,
Yeah.
from the moment they call it.
I was listening to the radio this morning, and Besha Rodell, the food critic, was speaking, and she was talking about there seems to be this quite wide gap in Melbourne now between, or maybe the world, but places that are offering this very expensive, you know, like high-end fine dining, and then there's a lot of cheap eats, and then Melbourne's always been really good at that middle section of just really good everyday food. Where does Bottega fit, do you think, in that? Is it sort of middle to high, or?
Yeah, I will define Bottega middle to high.
Yeah.
We're not a true fine dining place, but we do everything from scratch, with everything. And at the moment, with the cost of wages, that's what raised the price, you know, like.
Yeah.
So having the people that know what they're doing, have come with this cost, and obviously that reflects on the menus. So, but we're not, you know, you're not gonna find caviar or oysters here at Bottega. So we're not like for the rich people and things like that. We're like more middle high class, I would say, kind of restaurant, if we have to say.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the thing, isn't it? That people don't realise either that the dish you're eating, I mean, we know when we go to the supermarket now how much food costs, but you're, as you say, doing everything from scratch, and you're not just paying for the food, it's the cooking, the service, the washing up, the overheads, all of that go into a plate, and that's the joy of coming out to eat, is you just can eat it and then walk away. So that's something I sometimes think the dining public need to be educated on. She mentioned this restaurant. Apparently Rene Redzepi is doing a pop-up in LA, in Los Angeles, and it's $1,500 a head. And he said, well, that's because you've got 20 people going and foraging for the things and the kinds of, but you know, I mean, that really is a kind of elite market that you're going for. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, like, you know, those are kind of, you know, there are places where you go. Also here, if I can mention other restaurant, for example, I went to Attica once, and yes, it is a very pricey meal, but it is not just a meal. It's an experience, you know, like if I go out with my partner for like all night long, and, you know, I get food, entertainment, and everything else, it does cost more. And that's what it did. It delivered all around. You know, like I've been there, like I think 3.5 years, and I'm pretty sure I can mention all the dishes I had that night. Just because every dish is presented in a way that is so spectacular.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you ask my partner, she didn't like it because it's like, oh, I think it was just too pricey for that. She's not in the food environment. So I do enjoy using my partner to have an outside view on the world, because, you know, like, you know, as a person that work in the industry, we react to pricing and things in a different way, but she obviously see it in a different way. Like she's like, oh, I think the price we paid that night, it was too elevated for what we had all in all. But for me, it was like, wow, we had a nut that grew just in a small forest in Australia. That's bonkers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's amazing. And you've been head chef since 2023, but you've been here since 2017, so you must like it at Bottega.
I will say yes, a firm yes. So like it's been casual, like the way I came across Bottega. I was freshly arrived in Australia, and Bottega's been my one and only restaurant I work in Australia. I came to Australia like most of the Italian people come here with working holiday visa, looking for a job, and the advertisement for the job at Bottega was really funny. So I just sent my CV, and they called me in at my trial, and they asked me to break down 3 whole goat for ragu, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work here. My intention at the very beginning wasn't really to work in Melbourne for long. I was more like on idea of stay in Melbourne, go to Gold Coast, like working holiday visa, true and true. But I started working here, and then couple of months after, I got promoted to sous chef. They offered me sponsor, then I stay here, and then like you said, in 2023, when my sponsor was done, I was becoming PR. They offered me the position as head chef, and I do really enjoy the environment here. From the owner to the operational manager to my chefs, it is a really neat team, and it's really fun to work here. It doesn't feel boring. Like I never stayed for longer than 2 years to a place because I always thought that after a bit the situation becomes stale.
Yeah.
But because I started as a chef de partie and done my time as sous chef and now head chef, and it's always been evolving, my task and what I have to do. But at the same time, it's really nice to work here. So it's really good.
Had you been head chef before?
No, this is my first position as a chef. I was junior sous in a 5-star hotel in London for quite a while. But then I decided to move here, and obviously, I wasn't working on the visa. You could only work 6 months in restaurant. So I was like, I'm not gonna look for manager position. I gotta be chef de partie because sincerely, chef de partie is best position in the kitchen. You're the strongest, you have no responsibility apart from yourself. It's just, I love those days. But head chef is also fun, I'm not gonna lie.
So what changes? Because even I know that that jump to sous chef, you're doing a lot of the head chef responsibilities, but the head chef...
I think sous chef is the worst role in the kitchen. You can't have the policeman in the kitchen because you're not making the law, but you need to make the other people make their obey. And so most of the time you come out as the bad guy when you're just like, well, that's not my rules. I just have to make sure everyone's follow them. So, but sous chef obviously a great responsibility. The importance of having like a strong sous chef like Federica, my sous chef, it's very important because, I can always be here, and once here, you want to be relaxed and know that things get done as you like, and so it's a very important role. But also chef de parties are so important. And I would say here at Bottega, we like the team, the good things of this team, that the one has been here the shortest, it's over a year already. So we're like really close together, and that made a bond between us. So like everyone knows what we have to do, and everything gets done very quick. For instance, the St. Valentine night, we got everything ready in 1 week, and there was no hiccup on the preparation. Everything went smooth as sailing. Night came, we got under 40 customers, and we were sharing beers at midnight.
Yeah, wow.
Really happy.
I think it makes a really big difference. As you say, you enjoy coming to work, it's never boring, and I think it makes a difference for the diner. I've had this belief that when there's harmony in the kitchen, you can taste that.
That's a good point to see.
Well, I hope so. But I know in some of those you know, the old school kitchens, you can have extremely high-end food, and there's a lot of disharmony in the kitchen. But I have a belief it must somehow be better for us if there's goodness in the kitchen.
I would say so. I came from like old school cuisine. When I came here in Australia, I only work in, not only, but most of the kitchen I work were fine dining places and very old school, you know, a lot of screaming, a lot of shouting, a lot of toxic relation between other chefs to show who's the best and things like that. And like you said, because of that toxicity, you know, like people don't really help you as much, so they don't elevate your job, they actually try to push you down, so it's harder to improve. Like you have to do everything by yourself, while here, you know, like if you get distracted 1 second, someone will steal your sauce, never gonna let it burn just so you can get, you know, like a problem with the head chef, things like that. So everyone is looking after each other, so like the harmony is actually working toward the produce, because everyone trying not the other one to make them fail.
Yeah, so good. And where did it all start for you? I did see that you're from La Spezia.
Yes.
I was in Cinque Terre at the end of 2024. So I say last year, but it was a year ago. But yeah.
Last year.
So I loved it so much.
It is a really nice corner of the world, I would say. I did love growing up there. So as I became a chef, it was a bit random, I would describe it. Let's start talking about what I used to do when I was younger. I always worked in boats. So I was working as a deckhand and a sailor on a yacht and sailboat, traveling around Italy for summer and then studying in school during the high school. And I was helping a lot in the kitchen. I come from also a family that come from a hospitality environment. My father is a pizzaiolo, my uncle owned a restaurant for my youth and now owns a bar. My aunties used to own agriturismo. There is, I don't know how to translate this word, but it's pretty much a restaurant and bed and breakfast where you have to produce a certain amount of the food that you're serving to be described as agriturismo.
Oh wow, okay. Wow.
So they were making like pretty much the veggie patch, and they were producing everything from scratch also them, and I've always been around those kind of, you know, environment, you know, in the pizzeria with my father or the restaurant of my uncle. But I never like saw it as a profession. Then I went to travel, to sail around the world, let's say. And once I finished my high school, I was looking for something to do during winter, because it's also the seasonal job, let's say. During winter, staying at home, it was really miserable, let's say. So I decided to travel to London to improve my English. My English was pretty much zero. And I started working with a friend that was working in a kitchen and told me, oh, come on board, I need a kitchen hand. So I started as a kitchen hand for the first couple of months until I could speak English. And then I moved to the kitchen, and well, I fall in love. And now 14 years have gone by, several fine dining restaurants, and like, you know, life change, you know, like it's a bit unpredictable. Yeah.
And what is it you love? Is it the creativity? Is it the hospitality side of things?
The fast pace.
The fast pace, yeah.
The fast pace, and the fact that you don't do the same things over and over and over. Yeah, like you might repeating doing the same recipe for a period of time, but then there is always a change. While, you know, like you don't sit on a desk. I like to be, you know, standing and do stuff with my hand. I'm pretty sure I would have been a tradie if I wasn't to be a chef. You know, I need to do stuff with my hand. You know, like I like the creativity side of producing something physical, let's say.
Yeah. And I mean, I know you get inspiration from the produce, but do you get out, where else do you get your ideas? Obviously, you were saying from your childhood as well, and
childhood is very important, and then, you know, like also like it's very important dine out, like, you know, go out and see what's, you know, like what other people do, and, you know, like it's kind of getting inspiration of what produce others using and things like that. It's really fun, and like you said, here in Melbourne there is everything from like cheap eating to very high end and everything in between. So it's really fun go out and experiment and taste different cuisine and stuff, because you never know, like sometimes you get, oh, you know, like I really enjoy this way of, you know, like not how they prepare the produce, but like how they balance all the dish together and things like that. And you get inspiration like that, you know, like it could be used for a completely different dish, but you know, like the use of fatty and acid on the dish is just like really interesting, and it just sticks something on your brain.
Yeah. Do you cook at home or do you?
A lot.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
so you still love it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What's your sort of go-to or the dish you love to cook?
At home?
Yeah.
At home, obviously, like pizzas is like once every 2 weeks. Like we do. It's me and another chef. We really enjoy cooking pizza at home, so we like always sharing recipe and tips and you know, like new way to make it and things like that. Because with pizza is so fun.
Yeah.
You can always like change like a percentage of, you know, moistures or, you know, salt, or like how long you keep it to proof and things like that, and could have like a big difference on the final product. So it's always fun to experiment different things. And then, you know, like I always have to do a cacio e pepe once a week for my partner, otherwise she's probably not gonna talk to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's like really big into cacio e pepe.
Yeah.
And what else? Obviously, like, you know, a piece of meat on the barbie. I say no to that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing all the stuff and you come back home. I have to admit, I have a gas barbecue at home, and it's really easy to like get the stuff done.
Because what have you got out there?
We do have a charcoal smoker.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, right.
a gas grill as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
A bit more involved.
yeah, like, you know, a gas barbecue at home is so much easier. You know, 15 minutes, you come back home from being out all day, have a shower, have that one going, and by the time you come out of the shower, it's nice and hot, put the steak on, have a salad, fresh bread. It's perfect dinner, and it looks like, you know, a fine dining restaurant, but it isn't. It just, I mean, kind of is.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And I saw too that you were training for the Ironman. Has that been and gone, or is that yet to come?
I've done one, I have another one in a month's time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's been really good for my life, I would say. It just gives me a lot of stability and, you know, stop binge drinking and things like that. They are like a really problem, I guess, in this industry.
Right. Yeah.
Well, like, you know, used to go through like maybe several beers a week, and now only if I have something to celebrate. So I've done it more for like, yes, because I like competing with everything, because it's kind of my nature, but at the same time also because it gives me something to look for, and a reason to get out of the bed in the morning nice and early, or go to bed early, rather than, you know, before finish the work around midnight and get home and then don't go to bed until 2. While now I'm like quick eating, have a shower, straight to bed, because tomorrow morning I want to go for a run or a swim or a cycle. And there's, you know, like the sport environment here is so nice. You know, there is so many like really cool places to go. Like I have a loop around my house where I live in Altona, Williamstown. It's all along the beach, and it's amazing. In the cold mornings, it's so good.
Yeah, and it probably makes everything in your life easier. So your stamina for the kitchen and all of those things.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Especially, you know, like it keeps you more focused and more engaged with other things, like rather than try to find other way to get distracted. Like, you know, if you drink too much, then obviously your cooking the day after is gonna kind of be problematic.
So great. Just to finish with, because I know that you will have people coming in for their pre-theatre dinner soon, what would your advice be to a young person starting off as a chef?
Don't go for the money at the beginning.
Yeah.
The experience is more important. For the first 5-6 years, work as hard as you can, and don't stress too much about the dollar. They're gonna come. You know, like it's so important. You know, maybe stay half an hour extra, because in the extra half an hour, you're more likely to learn more than what you're getting paid. I know it's brutal, or like it shouldn't be, but it is actually true because people are more propense to teach you when you show them that you actually really care, you're not just doing for the hardcore cash.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, being able to come in and break down 3 goats, a lot of young chefs don't get to learn that if they don't stay and do some time with their mentor or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes time,
Yeah, it takes time, especially at the beginning. Is the experience is so important, and then opportunity they're gonna come.
Yeah. Thanks, Axel. It was so nice to
That
talk
was
to you.
amazing.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Axel Archenti at Bottega in the Theatre District in Melbourne. You can check out all the goodness on Instagram at Bottega Restaurant. That's BOTTEGA Restaurant. If you'd like to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm also on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read this chat online at www.conversationwithachef.com, and of course you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. I would absolutely love it if you told a friend about my chats. It's still the best way to get these delicious stories out into the world. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day and bon appetit.